Okay, this is my second video for today, and it won't be so rough around the edges as the last one. My subject in this video is my thoughts upon what is going on in Harney County, Oregon. Really not being in touch with the principals in the Patriot militia that's there. Their mission, as they've stated, which is to return the occupied lands of the state of Oregon back to the people who it belongs to, is an issue that I'm very familiar with. The Constitution deals with this specifically in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. And just for the record, I'll pull this up and I will actually read it on the video so that it is here. Let's see, Section 8, Clause 17. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square, as may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government of the United States. That's the District of Columbia. That was a done deal. The city's built, all the monuments are there, everything's there, okay? That is the District of Columbia. That is the jurisdiction of Congress. And to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state, in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. Okay, that is the extent of the jurisdiction of Congress, and also the extent of the jurisdiction over any lands in the state. They are lands that were purchased by the permission of the legislature of the state, which are for very specific and limited purposes, and those are enumerated. And I don't know about you, but I didn't see anything about a national park or a national forest or a national refuge or a national monument or a national anything, because frankly America was founded as a republic. There are 50 nations, and within the borders of those nations, the legislature of those nations has jurisdiction over them, not the District of Columbia. And that is why the Bundys and the Patriot militia and others are there. They were there to support the Hammonds, who were unfairly and unjustly railroaded and convicted of a non-crime. Not one stick of property was damaged. It was public property that was a controlled burn, and the BLM does it incompetently all the time. Uncontrolled burns and controlled burns on BLM property. Well, I'm sorry, state property usurped by the BLM. The Bureau of Land Management is a corporation incorporated in the state of Puerto Rico, well, actually in the territory of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a territory which falls under the jurisdiction of Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. Okay? So does Guam. Any territory that is not a state falls within it. So the BLM can do all kinds of things in Puerto Rico, but they're not allowed to do shit in the state of Oregon, or the state of California, or the state of Arizona, or the state of Montana. If it's a state, they have no damn business being there. Okay? Now, there's going to be some lawyers that are going to holler up and say, well, you know, there were contracts between this party and the Bureau of Land Management, and the Bureau of Land Management had first rights to when they sold the property, and so on and so forth, except there's just a little tiny little problem there. You see, the Constitution forbids the federal government from controlling any land within the states. And any contract that is entered into that circumvents the Constitution is void. They don't have that kind of authority. They didn't amend the Constitution of the United States. So, therefore, I don't give a damn what contract they force down the throats of the ranchers and the other people in those areas, or any area for that matter within the state. The contracts are invalid and illegal and unlawful on their face, and no federal bureaucrat, or I should say oligarchy bureaucrat, has the lawful power to enter into such contracts. There is no authority granted in the Constitution for them to do so.